Hey everyone, this is Charles, Liquor CEO. Welcome back for another chapter in the lifelong journey of what it takes to start a liquor brand. Um, I put a recent video out about the three different buckets of money you'll need, the types of capital you need, where it'll go, of what it takes to actually start a brand, which was brand development, your initial inventory, and the third bucket was actually the marketing and activation. Of those three, marketing and activation, launching a new brand, debuting a new brand in the marketplace after you've created the brand and after you've produced your inventory to sell, is probably one of the most critical moments and points in the brand's journey towards becoming successful, hopefully. So I wanted to take a little bit of time and focus on that portion of the game. What does it really take to launch and debut a new brand in a market post-COVID? And what did we learn from COVID? How has it changed getting distribution? How has it changed the relationship that you as a supplier or a brand owner are going to have with various on-premise and off-premise accounts? What is this new thing called e-premise that we have to be worried about? Well, this is all going to fall under the umbrella of marketing and activating and debuting, launching a new brand. So there were typically two channels of where your products could be purchased, on-premise and off-premise. On-premise are your bars, restaurants, and nightclubs, basically where folks can consume the product on the property. Off-premise were your retail stores, where people would purchase the product and take it off property, home, to consume it. COVID, I don't want to say COVID created e-premise, which is really e-commerce, but COVID certainly accelerated its relevance and its materiality in the space. So the third channel will be e-premise, which is going to be that e-com, and perhaps expanding it a little further. How do you use digital content, social media, sponsored ads, swipe to buys, all of that, influencers, macro influencers, micro influencers? How do you use all of this to get your message out there, to grow your brand and to further the commercialization, the monetization, the sales of your brand? So let's take them one by one. On-premise, bars, restaurants, and clubs obviously had a problem during 2020 with COVID. State by state, market by market, they came online at different paces. There were a lot of things that governments did, the state regulators did, to change the laws concerning the sales of alcohol, allowing to-go cups, allowing restaurants to sell liquor to go, to be able to take it out of the restaurant, where before they couldn't do that. They changed the laws and accelerated. Some states have trickled backwards and kind of done away with those and considered them temporary things. Other states have made them permanent. So case by case basis, we need to look at that. But in general, the on-premise consumption is a really important factor for two reasons. A, it's an opportunity for you to involve yourself in a mixology program to get your product, your brand on a cocktail menu, so that people can begin to experience your cocktail, your spirit, taste it, understand the quality, a little bit of the story, and perhaps start the relationship on that way towards them buying it at liquor stores and taking it home. So a good strategy there on how do you work with mixology programs, bars, restaurants, bartenders, mixologists, to really educate them, to get them to know about your brand, to want to pour it. What types of incentives and programming and marketing collaborations are you going to do with the venues and the accounts to work in that regard? That's one channel I think you really need to work on to really kind of develop. And I think they really appreciate that from suppliers, because it's still a tricky business out there for the restaurants and bars and clubs. They're looking to do things. And so anything you can do to kind of help in that regard or financially contribute to that collaborative marketing cause, I think you're helping your case out, exponentially. Off-premise has been balls to the wall since, COVID, because off-premise liquor stores were deemed essential, and they stayed open, and they experienced holiday season-like sales for several months of 2020. Obviously, there were certain parameters, like you couldn't go in and do samplings and tastings in the past. They're starting to let that come. They started to let that come back last year, and they're back to doing that in certain states. Florida, where I am, they happen to do that quite often now. And I know that the liquor stores really like that. The package stores like that, because it certainly allows us as brand owners the opportunity to showcase our brands. and also allows the retail store, the package store, to get sales and get foot traffic in, and has a reason to go there. I don't want to take anything away from the comfort brands, the big brands, because they have their place. They're the anchors, so to speak. But let's face it, not everybody wants steak all the time. There's variety is the spice of life, and I think craft brands have a very significant material portion in the experiential life cycle of the liquor industry. I think it's very important that craft brands have the existence space and the existential awareness from the consumer. And that's given to you through marketing, the advertising, activating, and also sampling and tasting on premise, and also through the on-premise mixology programs where bartenders and mixologists will include your spirit into some signature cocktails to introduce the product and brand and category perhaps to consumers. E-premise, really like that one because Drizzly, was acquired by Uber, blah, blah, blah. Big resurgence, big surge in e-com and getting liquor delivered to your home. Great. We don't know where that's really going to stabilize out, but it certainly had a spike up when things were closed, and it's come down since people are starting to want to go back out and need to go back out and have fun out at venues. But I still think it's going to be around and materially around for quite some time. But so having a good solid e-com plan, which generates on the different types of content that you would want to have created, organic content that's really about you to showcase the brand in your positive light, third-party content where you have relevant influencers at the macro and micro levels, whether they be industry folks or lifestyle folks that are resonating with your brand, to showcase it and to get it out there for the masses to see to their audiences, to show that relevance and that quality of life, and to show that it's good. And that certain influencers are adopting it, early adopters of it, and having fun with it. Anything you can do to position your brand in the right way. All of these things are required elements in a marketing plan, and we're basically scratching the surface here in this quick video. I'm trying to keep it under 10 minutes just to kind of give you guys just an intro into all the intricacies and nuances of developing a good, solid activation plan. You have to have good pricing, quantity discounts. You have to have incentives for your staff, your brand builders, your sales reps at the distributor. You have to have great programs with on-premise, mixology programs, POS, collateral, things of that nature. Anything they want to do that can help your cause to get there. You have to have all of this. E-premise, e-com, you have to have sponsored ads. You have to have swipe to buys. You have to have the links to get to the Drizzlies of the world, the mini bars, the reserve bars, the Flaviars. You have to have all of that into your system. Instacart, those things are great. You got to work with all of that. So the full three-dimensional, the e-premise, on-premise, off-premise. You got to three-dimensionally attack what you do. Get creative is the best thing. And always run all your concepts through the law, because certain things are allowed in certain states that are not allowed in other states. So be mindful of that. So run everything through that regulatory filter before you drop money to it and decide what to do. Involving your distribution partners, if you have them, in those conversations is key. It shows them you want to do a lot of things with your brand and really get out there and put in the work to do it. But it also shows that you understand that they really have a certain experience with their market. They're in it every day, speaking with the accounts one-on-one. There could be potentially a lot of data and treasures to unearth in those conversations. So I would have those too. So it takes, to answer the question originally, what does it take to debut a brand? It takes a really good, well thought out three-dimensional on-premise plan. They're back. Get in there. Work with them. It's the gateway to getting people to taste something new. Off-premise, samplings, tastings, anything you can do with POS, displays, any type of collaborative marketing you can do to drive traffic to the retail outlets, and to the same with on-premise outlets. Anything you can do is going to be appreciated and worked on, and I think it's going to be key to getting placements in those accounts. And with e-premise, really have your content honed in on your social media content, your product placement, your product pictures, images, videos, the messaging strategy, what you're saying, to whom you're saying it, how you're saying it, what channels you're using to get those messages out to the people. Very important too. So really focus on the few different types of content you want to have in terms of the e-premise brand build, And I think we know what we need to do in the off-premise brand build, work with the accounts, understand what you can do, and also the same with the on-premise accounts. So attack it three-dimensionally, get creative, run everything through a regulatory filter just to make sure you're always on sides with the various state laws that govern what you can do, and have fun. Because if you're not having fun, it'll be portrayed through your content and through your efforts and actions. And if you're not having fun, I don't think your consumers will really, feel. They'll feel that, and they won't be having fun. And it's probably a little bit really a struggle for your brand. But study it, work with it. Any questions that we can answer for you, 40-80spirits.com. I'm Liquor CEO on Instagram, liquor.ceo on Instagram. Smash this, like this, do all the homework that you need to do. Call me with any questions. Check out our other videos. A lot of information I put out here on how to start a brand, regardless of what you want to do. Start it. And if you have any content ideas that you would like, any topics you'd like me to, give you 10, 15 minutes on with a video, shoot me an email, let me know. Contact me through 40-80spirits.com, and I'd be happy to do it. Anyway, enjoy craft brands. I make a few myself. I work on several others. We appreciate you giving us a shot. Don't just always work with the big boys out there. Give craft brands a shot. We really put a lot of passion, love, and creativity into what we do. And on that note, if you're an aspiring brand owner, put a lot of homework up front into figuring out how your product can be really unique and different and stand apart in a crowded marketplace. Very important. That'll leverage your success exponentially. So cheers to you guys. Best of luck. Have a great time. Thanks for listening.